Hello, my name is Oscar Briggs, and today I will just be summarizing my hybrid essay that I have submitted for this class, Advanced Composition, and going over what this essay entails, the different sources that I use to increase its hybridity as well, and then just going over the main components of the text itself. So, for starters, this essay is looking at achieving social justice within sports, um, more specifically focused on within the US, but the issues explored within the text aren't just limited to within the US, they are prevalent throughout the world, in the US, in my home country of Australia as well, and in other countries on top of that. So for this assignment, we were required to write a hybrid essay that focuses on social justice in our applied field of study. So for myself, that is sports. And so for this essay, I wanted to look specifically at social justice and social injustices which occur within sports. And I came to the decision that focusing on primarily women's sports within the US would be the most easy to research and easy to conceptualize and put into a text to present to yourself. So just breaking down the essay as a whole, there are several points that I look at within this essay. The first one being the injustices that occur in women's sports, but these. So after outlining the agenda of the essay, I had to think quite in depth as to a more detailed version for the motivation for this essay. In retrospect, it is broad in terms saying that for this essay I'm going to focus on social justice and injustices within women's sports because frankly there are so many, and it is something that is as well so widely reported on and has a very large presence within media, and for the most part is on the forefront of social justice and injustices in society, up there with many racial movements or pay disputes, just because of its relevance in today's society. So when thinking of the motivation for my essay, to satisfy the requirements outlined for this hybrid essay project, we as writers were required to add elements to our text which make it hybrid in a sense that it can be interacted with a number of different sources, whether these are uh, direct references to journals and newspapers or anything along those lines, as well as the use of images and videos sourced again from online or textual components. So for my specific essay, I used a number of digital components in order to make it hybrid. For the first part, touching on, I used several photos highlighting differences that exist in advertisements. So here on this slide, before watching the video itself, you can see that this is the digital video news article that I decided to include that helps to give the reader a lot better of a understanding as to the equal pay dispute that occurred in the US between the governing body and members of the women's national team for soccer within the US. And so, in having a source like this, it allows me to present a lot more information that I would not be capable of putting into the text and directly writing myself. So through having a source like this, the reader can just hit play and get a lot of information and data relating to the issue, of which I myself just summarize and go into the main points of how it's being addressed. But again, the use of this source is to and here on this slide, I have 3 images which I also used in the paper. The first 2 relating to advertising and marketing efforts within the NBA and the WNBA within the US. And it just touches on the difference in advertising campaigns, and more so the power of advertisement which it holds. But looking at the 2 of them, you can clearly see that with the men's competition, the NBA, there is a lot more of an effort to advertise through heavy sponsorship by Sony and the addition of the video game, things along those lines just make it a lot more marketable. Comparing that to the advertisement of the WNBA, where there is no sponsorship backing, it is just a player who, frankly, I could not tell you. Just touching over shortly on the actual content within the text, within the essay, sorry, I have 9 pages of written text in which I examine those main points touched on, my motivation and the agenda also. And for the most part, at least from my understanding, this content that I am presenting to you as the reader in the text is easy to understand and easy to agree with. The language used is professional as opposed to casual or formal, but the content does a good job, or a great job in my opinion, of identifying, conceptualizing, and analyzing the social injustices that occur within women's and racial minority sports within the US and other countries, whilst also identifying. And here you just go back and touch on the 10 different references that I used within the text to support my ideas, better make it appealing and understanding and improving the understanding for the reader. So again, there are 4 visual, 6 textual, 10 overall, and these go between academic journals, advertisement images, video reports, quantitative data, and university journals as well. And I think without this level of sources and this number, it would be very hard to present a text for which the reader can understand and come to agree with, or deliberate my findings in this paper. So that is all that I have for my paper for this hybrid essay. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and it gave you